New year, new me, who are you, boy? If you're in my way, you better move, boy. I don't ever miss a cue like schoolboy. Ain't no telling what I'ma do, boy. Ha, 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 ha. I bet you thought you had me figured out, but nah, 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 nah. I'm way too unpredictable.
Hello. Oh, we were good. Did you see that?
I saw
In
that.
sync. That was perfect. I know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. My name is Darren, and this is.
This is Jason.
There we go. All right. Yeah.
And before we get started, if you are on AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, whoever, and you don't have service, you can catch us later on. Just heads
Yes, this is true. I mean, you probably will have trouble watching this live. Let's just be honest.
Right.
And, you know, for those of you who live in the States, I live in Canada. We actually have networks at work. But in the States,
shots fired. Okay.
I know, but I don't know. Things just kind of went down today inexplicably. I was thinking about that. A hack, maybe?
So we have this. I don't know the extent of it. They said it was like northeast United States. I live kind of Midwest-ish, and I had no issues. But I had coworkers and family members that didn't have that. It wasn't working today. I had no issues, and I had Google Fi, which is T-Mobile, and I have FirstNet, which is AT&T, and I've had no issues. But it's funny, it went down, and the entire world started. Not world, the entire country, which is the United States, started saying cyber attack. It got real political real fast. And that's the problem with, at least in the U.S., everything that happens is based on because you're this or that or whatever politics you want. It drives me insane. It might have just been something went out and there was a backhaul issue, they said. Who knows? Well,
the reason I bring it up is because last year in Canada, around about June or July, one of the major networks here, which is a network called Rogers, they went down for 48 hours. No service for 48 hours. People were losing their minds. Like the whole world shut down because it's a major provider here. So it ran banks, point of sale machines. In the world like shut down, and that kind of brought to light a few issues here in the Canadian system that I think have since been rectified, like having like some kind of backup, power safety measure or something. However, they never came out outrightly and said, hey, we were hacked, but that's the common belief, is that someone had got access to the network and it was kind of holding it ransom until somebody decided to pay up.
I mean, it could be. These companies are billion-dollar companies. So the first thing I thought was, you ever seen Austin Powers? Someone's like $1 million. Really? Here's $1 million. I mean, we could cough that up in one day.
Well, it's kind of funny because a lot of big corporations that do get hacked, a lot of the time, if it was me and it was my company, I would be like, we got hacked. Do everything you can in your power to beef up security so that we can get our shit back. But a lot of companies, like, for example, IBM, who were hacked in the last couple of years, they pay them out. You want $10 million? Here you go. It's easier for them to pay them out and then retroactively go back and say, hey, we need to fix this.
Well, and those things take time, and security updates are probably more expensive than $10 million.
Yes. Well, that's exactly it, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I mean, we can't confirm whether the networks in the States went down. It could have just been the guy forgot to plug in the backup generator.
Exactly. Right.
It could very well be that. And I mean,
Tech Disruptors, we are backed by the most advanced security in the world.
It's true.
Our budget is $50 million every 3 months, every quarter.
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually use one-factor authentication, not two-factor, because
I don't use any factors. What are you talking about?
You just log in. You just hit you hit the icon on the screen.
Well, remember, I just walk up to the computer and it automatically knows that it's me.
It's true. It's true. Can we talk AI? I know we talk AI a lot, but can we just talk a little bit about Gemini for a second, because this was
Yeah,
a bit
Gemini.
of a funny article, could we say? So Gemini, which is Google's fancy generative AI masterpiece, has come under a little bit of fire,
Hmm.
we'll say. So this article came out earlier today, and I want to pull up an image here, which might be a better way to pull this up. So let's have a look here. So what do you notice? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't even share my screen. Let me try that one more time.
I'm like, yeah,
So
I noticed a picture.
I'm like, I'm seeing everything, and you guys are seeing nothing. So I don't even know what tab I'm. Oh, there.
Now, I have not seen this picture yet, so I'm kind of excited, but also kind of scared.
So they've come under fire for Gemini being quote unquote too woke. So here is the prompt. This is a
Oh my
screenshot from
God.
Gemini generation, I guess. So someone prompted the Gemini AI engine from Google to generate an image of a 1943's German soldier. And a couple of things come to mind here. First of all, there's a woman there, which didn't happen at all in
No.
1940 Germany. But that's not really the bigger issue here. If you look at the soldier types, nationalities, I guess as we'll call it, I don't remember there ever being a black Nazi German soldier. Do you, Jason?
Well, in my time in 1943,
Yes,
no,
yes.
well, and no, I don't. And
So
the world's blowing up on this, and I get it, but
yeah,
is it an honest, like, just AI is just learning? Like, I don't.
yeah.
Is it that big of a deal? I mean, the problem is being woke or whatever they're saying. The fact that Google had to immediately take everything down and redo stuff leads me to believe
Well,
that AI isn't quite ready for $20 a month.
yes. Well, yeah, exactly. You pay. I mean, this is the thing. They have a premium tier at $20 a month. You better be generating me fucking photorealism.
So for $20 a month, they wouldn't be as woke. Is that what?
No,
they're
that's
saying?
exactly right. Yeah. So
Right,
if
right,
you're
right.
trying to fight back against woke culture, maybe you should not pay. But you know what's funny? And I just caught this now. If you look at the Engadget article here, and this is another example. I don't know if you can see in the image there. There is some very interesting nationalities and cultural representation being shown there.
Jeez.
So, I mean, again, AI is not perfect.
AI is in its infancy, even though it
it's in
seems like
its-
it's advancing really fast. It really is still a young technology.
Yes. And so, anyway, so I was thinking about this kind of article here because Gemini, they've been, I don't know if you've been watching what Google's been doing this week, but they've been rolling out Gemini to everything. Like
Yeah.
enterprise consumers, business customers, like they're going all in on Gemini. Like this
Well,
is
and
it.
that
Like,
kind
they're
of stuff, I
pushing.
don't think it's going to be a problem. It's these videos and pictures that's going to be the honestly, and maybe I'm in the minority here, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is a big deal. Yeah, is it wrong? Of course, it spit out an incorrect image, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's. I don't know. I don't think it's vulgar or. I think
No,
the AI
it's-
is just saying, "Hey, let's be all inclusive. Let's make a well-rounded group of soldiers." Not really thinking, "Hey, in 1943, these people weren't doing these things." I don't know.
But see, and this kind of brings me back to something that I've been thinking about. So, AI is meant to be incredibly smart, right?
Sure.
And intuitive, I guess. Now, in the very split second that it takes for Gemini to get these results and generate these results, could it have not gone and read like a history textbook and figured it out and then gone, okay, so a lot of white people, 1942, blonde hair, blue eye kind of scenario, and just generated some random white people images. And listen, I'm not saying that there weren't soldiers of different nationalities fighting in World War II, because there was lots. But when you're asking in particular for a 1943 German soldier, that's an interesting result of what's being generated there. So maybe, just maybe, AI isn't all it's cracked up to be. Just saying.
Well, so I was on Bard.
Yes.
Oh God, I called it Bard. I'm sorry, Gemini. Jesus
Gemini,
Christ.
yes. It's okay.
And I
prefer
typed in,
Bard.
The same thing, 1943 soldier.
Yes. And
I kind of wanted to see, like, would it still do this? And I did it. I don't know if you're ready for this, but if you are, I can show you what it's still doing or not doing.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's have a look. This is live, everybody. Live.
No sound, of course.
Yes. There we go. Yes. Well done. That's the second week in a row, I believe. That
I don't know what it
right.
is. I just think it was perfect timing.
That's pretty good. But I will say this much. So I went and did a little bit of research to figure out who was the person who was generating these images. And sure enough, I think I've figured the solution here. So this is who's generating the images.
Well, looking at that advanced device he was using, I could see how that would work.
So this was an article that came out. This is an image that came out today. This was like literally an hour ago.
Well, before you say it's from a very reputable source, TMZ.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll pull up the article. Yeah. So this is an alleged photo of, you may know this guy, Eminem. I heard he's got a bit of a music career,
I love his shirt. Isn't that?
Yes.
Is that too short?
I think so. I think so. I've got terrible eyes, but I mean,
you know what? Looking at this phone, they're saying it's a what?
They're saying it's a BlackBerry. I think a classic.
Could it be a Unihertz ripoff?
No.
I know.
Eminem using a Unihertz phone? Jesus, their sales would jump 5,000%. Like,
could you imagine? Built in
Detroit,
I rock a Unihertz. Come on.
Yeah. You imagine that? Jesus, Unihertz would have a smartphone coming out next year if that was the case, but not just rehashing the past. But I like Unihertz, actually. I like what they're doing.
I've done the
reviving them. Unihertz, if you're listening, we're here, buddy. Anytime.
Oh, I had their tank phone. That tank phone was the Tank 2 had a projector built into it. It was awesome. Had police sirens and
love it.
Crazy. Yeah.
But I had their BlackBerry. No, it was the BlackBerry, the massive one that was like a massive
I don't know
BlackBerry. I forget the name of it, but
I had a couple of their jelly phones because I used to run before smartphones were offline music, and it was only like that big, so I'd strap it to my wrist or just hold it in my hand and use Bluetooth headphones, and it was amazing.
Nice. So Eminem caught using a BlackBerry. Listen, again, I don't know. This is like a legit story, just so people know. Like, is it possible? Is it possible?
No.
In 2024, that a multi-platinum recording artist is using a BlackBerry? What do you think?
No.
Do you think this is...
So the one guy's laughing, covering his face. The other guy's in the back like, yeah, whatever. Eminem knows he's getting a picture taken of him. That is probably sitting somewhere. He probably grabbed it and said, watch this, the world's going to explode on this. And exactly what happened. It was front page news on TMZ, which I never read. Someone shared it on X, and I was like, that's hilarious. I want to have a look at this. And if it's true, it is hilarious. It really is.
Well, it was funny when I was like scrolling through the images here because they're talking about it and they're looking at as it is too short for the record, the T-shirt.
Oh, it is.
But, yeah. Right. They actually post the song there too.
Don't play that. That's probably
no. I won't. I also don't want to get copyrighted there, but I think it's actually kind of a cool idea. Now, if he is using a BlackBerry, let's just say if he is it because he wants to be disconnected from all the bullshit? Like maybe he's using a BlackBerry like a dumb phone.
What would work on it? Just making phone calls and text messages, maybe?
There you go. Yeah. Huh. But if you're only using a phone for phone calls and text messages, isn't the BlackBerry the perfect choice?
Well, I think I'm going to say maybe less likely a chance of getting hacked.
Yes.
But you're still connected to Wi-Fi, I'd imagine, at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, who's looking for a BlackBerry? Like, who's actually going, this is Eminem's BlackBerry? Yeah, but like they're searching through the BlackBerry network.
Well, now they are.
Now they are. Yeah, they're going for it.
Why can't you catch someone using an old Windows phone?
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Those things are awesome.
Do you want to know where Windows phones are located? At the bottom of landfill. They are great, but not for everybody. Yeah. And I know Dan, who's probably going to listen to this after us, he's probably going to be like, no, you're wrong. Windows phones are amazing. And I'm pretty sure Sam too will probably say the same thing.
I like the tile. I thought I even had a skin on my Android phone when they first went out to make it look like one. It just wasn't the same experience. I think it was great. They just didn't have the app developers on board.
Well, you remember we were talking about this before we went on air. I loved the BlackBerry Key 1 and Key 2 when they tried to make a revival and they came out and like they were good phones. Yeah, they ran like a Snapdragon 600 series processor, which was absolute garbage. Yeah. And the cameras,
didn't they have an LE version too?
They did, like a light version. And the cameras were potatoes, but the form factor was fucking spectacular.
See, what was I had a couple of the later Blackberries. I had Android on them, and I had a couple. I had the Storm and the Storm 2. Yeah. Those were some of my first Blackberries. Even though I was obviously older enough to get the old ones, I was never into the Palm and Blackberries of old. Yeah. But I don't understand why people keep thinking BlackBerry is going to come back and make it come. The physical keyboard is not coming back. I liked it, but the world doesn't need it anymore. And I'm wondering if Captain Two Phones, is it Michael Fisher? Is that his name?
Yes, that's right.
He has that new product. I don't see it happening. I don't see it making a big killing splash in the market.
No.
I saw someone posted a picture of someone else doing something very similar to that, only like a couple years prior to that.
Yeah.
It might have been not as quality. But how many Unihertz, BlackBerry, everyone's made, companies have made this, and they've all failed.
Well, and so it's funny, just in the chat here, I was just about to make this point. Maybe celebrities just don't give a shit.
Well, and Eminem's got people to run his social media
exactly,
for
yeah. So, I mean, maybe he only uses his phone for texting and phone calls. And
that's the same with me. I'm such a big celebrity that I actually have a whole team of people doing my social media.
It's true. This is true.
Right. Yeah. So.
I mean, I thought it was all AI, if I'm being honest. But
well, it is. I fired my team and just got Gemini 2.0.
Yes. Well, I mean, listen, for Google again, for Gemini to make such a blunder is a little bit interesting in the world of AI, because usually we're remarking at how AI is so amazing and how many things it's done.
But do you know how many times I've used when it was barred? And I use Chat GPT and just typing in something for a response, how many times things were wrong in that? So, I mean, it's not surprising. It's kind of alarming that it made that big of a mistake because it is AI. But to me, I don't care. I really don't.
You know what? I'm going to do an experiment right now. I'm going to ask it. Let me one second.
We're going to get Rick rolled again.
No. I'm going to ask it to generate an image. Hang on. Of the Tech Disruptors podcast host.
Well, you got to give it more like detail.
Okay. From
like with
YouTube?
with an old time microphone with a fire behind it or a red hot.
I don't want to stress it out because AI can sometimes shut it. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. Okay, so
you did not do that. No way.
No prompt. Good Gemini. Generating an image of the Tech Disruptors hosts from YouTube. The hosts. This is what it generated. This is a picture from Google Gemini of the Tech Disruptors hosts. And you know what? That's pretty accurate, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's definitely me in the back. Right.
And you just cover your hair up with a hat. So I mean, there's always.
That's why it's on now. I'm kind of embarrassed. I mean, besides the lack of a microphone or anything disruptive about it, it's actually pretty accurate.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we're handsome looking too. I know it's pretty good there, right?
I mean, it's worldwide,
Yes, that's right. Prestige worldwide. How many prestige worldwide jokes can we throw in a year of Tech Disruptors podcast? I think we should just keep going.
You know, that's another shirt.
It is. Yes, we've
if
got
it ain't Apple. It ain't shit.
You know what? I've been working on the design of that. It's coming soon. We're gonna have our own little.
But you can't do that. Prestige worldwide. You guys like Tech Disruptors worldwide and have a picture like this, but our faces on it.
You know what? Maybe you and I should have a photoshopped Argyle blue sweater kind of combo of just when we do that.
Maybe we should put our faces on that.
We could just superimpose. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Easier.
I'm going to leave that up to you, and we'll
I'm
use
not a
that for
Photoshop expert, but I'll give it a shot. No.
How about next week we use that as the icon for our podcast?
Yeah.
Our thing. That's what we're gonna do. All right there. You heard it live.
Oh my God. There's no way I'll get that going by next week. That's going to take me a week just to do.
Just get Gemini to do it for you. You know, I'm sure. You know, as much as we trust in Gemini.
Hey team, I need you to get on this. Oh, they just went to lunch break. Never mind. Maybe later.
Right, fair. Yeah, they're gonna have to take a little while, but yeah. So, in case you don't know, it's a pretty big mobile world conference event happening this week.
What?
So, in case you don't know, let's give you a little history lesson right here. Let's give it. So let's give it a full official description. So MWC is an annual trade show dedicated to mobile communications industry. The event is held in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain, at the Fira de Barcelona Gran Via, usually in February.
You're definitely a native. I can tell it in the accent.
Oh, I couldn't speak any of that. That literally made no sense. But basically what it is a 4-day event. That's kind of a bit more like a showcase of future tech is how I would describe it. Because you get...
It's like CES.
It's like CES, but I would even say more for the mobile industry. So like smartphones, wearables, laptops, PCs, computer devices, stuff like that, right?
Okay.
The reason we bring that up is because prior to MWC, which happens to be starting, I think, tomorrow, they give us a little preview, or we start to get some of these leaks of what's coming down the pipeline. So you probably have heard us mention OnePlus in the last few podcasts here, but let's start with them. So OnePlus has been on people's minds lately. They've had a pretty good release with the OnePlus 12, well received. They made a smartphone about 3 or 4 years. A smartwatch about 3 or 4 years ago.
And it was running a really crappy OS, but it had 14 days battery life.
Yes. Amazing battery, but probably the shittest smartwatch you could buy. And then I think OnePlus just went, yeah, we're going to go back to the drawing board on this one and come back to you. But they have come back. And from all the reports that I'm hearing, we're about to see the release. And they've been teasing us on their X account. The OnePlus Watch 2, which we believe might look a little bit like this. So I have... bit of a kind of interesting. I know this is from their. That did not work. Let's try that again. So this is from their Twitter account, or their X account. Sorry, offering some pretty nice trade-in programs, up to $60 off of their watch.
Well, yeah, you get. I think you get like I had a coupon like 10% off.
Yes,
you get a trade-in. The question is, how much is it going to cost? You think $299, $199?
I say $399. I say
Really?
$399. I say it's going to be squarely competing right next to the Apple Watch SE. Maybe $369, just $10 less, maybe, or like whatever the Apple Watch SE price is.
Never. Not for a Wear OS device. I mean, I don't know yet. We'll have to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is all kind of speculative. We don't know yet, but I don't think it's going to have like the premium features. Like, I'm not imagining a sapphire screen is going to be happening. It's probably just going to be Gorilla Glass. They're saying 100-hour battery life. That's some impressive claims
in simple mode. So I'm not really sure what that is.
Simple mode.
Well, what's funny about that is it's in simple mode, but then in an interview or in a weird answer, he was like, "Yeah, our battery will last forever. You know, whatever, how many hours." And you can still use it. So they haven't come out and said it's a Wear OS watch yet.
Yes, and
that's where I'm thinking, if it's not Wear OS, I don't think I'm going to purchase it.
You would think with them being solely in the Android space that they would be releasing a Wear OS watch, no? Like, is it that crazy to like... Well,
here's my other question. So, are we looking at another Samsung?
Well, like as far as an ecosystem,
we got the watch, we got the phone, we got the earbuds. I mean, not Samsung, because Samsung's got TVs and well,
Yeah.
they got OnePlus has TVs too, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm talking like refrigerators and stoves. But honestly, I have the OnePlus Pad and
Yep.
I've got the watch and the phone, and they've been great.
Listen, I like what OnePlus has done so far this year. The OnePlus 12 is a freaking awesome device. Like it really is. Um, and for the money you're paying for it, even better. But you remember OnePlus did sell TVs at one point. I think it was
I
a
think they
China
still do,
only.
but I think
Yeah.
it's India maybe too.
India, so yeah. But so, and you got to remember, like OnePlus is not a proprietary solitary brand. It's under the Oppo umbrella, and Oppo have been making smartwatches for years and years and years now. And just like a lot of the OnePlus devices, they essentially are rebranded Oppo devices, essentially, maybe with a new chipset or whatever, and OnePlus branding, new color, whatever. But Oppo's smartwatches have actually been quite good. They're not necessarily a North American market kind of deal, but I don't know. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the one. Maybe
Look at the back.
this.
Where are the sensors at?
Well, this is the thing. I wonder here if that's some kind of ring-based sensor technology there. Like if you look at the outer ring, I wonder if they're doing something different here. Now, again, these are leaks, I guess. But who knows? I mean, listen, I know the Samsung Generation 6 smartwatches were not received very well. People complaining about battery, people complaining about a bunch of things. So is OnePlus going to outdo Samsung on the smartwatch like they outdid them on the S24 Ultra? Oh, Jason, you're shaking your head.
Here's the problem. We all know the OnePlus 12 is pretty good.
Yeah.
It lacks something that the Samsung does. Obviously, Samsung's more expensive.
Yes.
But no one cares. That's what that's the problem. OnePlus has no marketing here in the U.S. They have no carrier deals. Now, I know in India and other parts of the world they are more popular, but they also have carrier deals in those areas. They don't have them here. And if they never do that, they're never going to capture the market. The other thing is the iPhone is so strong here in the U.S. I don't think anybody's going to catch them, at least not in the near future.
Well, I mean, again, we've talked about the North American market being dominated by iPhones. And, last year alone, the top 15 spots of smartphone sales were dominated by solely iPhone in North America. That means that the nearest Android phone clocked in at number 16 on the list. And I believe that was like a mid-range Samsung phone. That's a pretty crazy statistic. But, here's the thing. I mean, I think OnePlus has the potential to make a splash because I think they would be received quite well in carrier stores. Like they look different. They look original. They don't look like another carbon copy of like every other Samsung device or iPhone device. I think when people play with them and actually get a chance to see how fast and fluid they are, that they might actually have a chance. And, I guess when I went to, Google never used to do that either. But then you go to like a Best Buy and they have their whole display now. They've got phones, smartwatches, Nests and cameras and all kinds of things. Sure. Now, does it mean that they sell more? Probably not. But the fact that if they can get their foot in the door, and I was talking about this last week, like here in Canada, OnePlus has never been sold in any department store. They now sold in Best Buy. Like you can go to a Best Buy and buy a OnePlus phone. Now, are people doing it? Probably not. But the option is there. Now, I don't even think, if I'm being honest, the last time I went into a Best Buy a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even see the OnePlus device on display. So I think it's you look it up on the website and go pick it up and hope for the best kind of scenario, which again is not going to bode well for most people. But again, it's OnePlus. OnePlus, they're a bit of a kind of niche fan brand, I guess is a good way to put it. But Jason I like them too. Yeah. I mean, I have the OnePlus 12, so does Jason. And, we've been using it for a couple of weeks now. Haven't had any issues, no major, stutters or, screw ups. And in the hand, I dare I say it feels better than the S24 Ultra. Like it feels comfortable. And I know that everybody, all the Samsung fanboys, going to be like, "You're crazy. The squared off boxy shape is perfect for handling." Yeah, okay. If you say so. But again, it's not going to be for everybody. iPhones rule the world. If you look up on my wall, I have a dismantled iPhone 4. So, yes, me too. I like iPhones. Do I use them? Kinda. I have them as a backup phone, I guess, as a secondary device. But right now, SIM cards in the OnePlus 12. I also have a Pixel 8 Pro. There's a couple of phones floating around, but at the end of the day, if you don't buy it, no one's going to buy. No one's going to. It's not going to keep going, right? And you might see at some point in the near future, if OnePlus doesn't make a big enough splash, that they do get absorbed by Oppo, and then they focus on the Chinese markets, which is where a lot of their sales come from.
Sure.
Now, speaking of brands that are trying to make a splash at MWC, I almost said CES. We've gone back in time. At MWC, Nothing Phone 2A, Jason.
Yeah.
Thoughts? That pretty much says it all.
I like the design. I think they're going, if you haven't heard, CMF by Nothing is also releasing the neck earbud things and some earpod whatever. And it's the same company.
Yes.
I like, if that is design, it's not a bad looking phone. It's different. I think it looks like there is some glyph lighting on there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the price is going to be. If it's $399 or $499, I don't know who it's competing with. A Dimensity, 7200?
Yeah, it's
12 gigs of RAM, 50 megapixel camera.
I mean, can we just pause for 1 second? Can we talk about how we fucking leaked this image last week and then it was confirmed?
Yeah.
We suspected this is what the design was going to be like. And the Tech Disruptors did it first. You can go back, watch last week's episode. We pulled up multiple images of what the proposed design was, and bam, confirmed by Nothing this week.
I mean, I didn't want to brag, but I think you brought it up.
Well, I am bragging. Sometimes when you watch a podcast like ours and we say that shit's going to be how it is, and it actually is, that's when you hit that like and subscribe button, and you go, I'll be back. Specs-wise, I don't get it. I don't even get why they're releasing a 2A at all.
I heard it's not going to be readily available here in the U.S. It's going to be more of an overseas thing.
Yeah,
they're doing that. I could be wrong. They're doing that. What is it? The beta test they did with the one where it's like, hey, for $299 you can get it in the U.S., but it's a beta test. They sent me an email asking if I was interested. I didn't have a price or availability. But I don't know if it's really going to come to fruition or not.
How come I didn't get the fucking email? What the hell?
You know, I'll be honest with you.
I'm in Canada.
They know. It's the Canadian.
Well, I mean, listen. I don't particularly care for the design. I think it kind of looks like a cobra and a snake looking at me.
It does. Now that you say that, it's
right. Like, look at the squiggly line, and then.
And what I mean is, I don't think it's a good design. It's a unique design, and that's the way Nothing has positioned themselves.
Yeah.
Their phones are pretty good. They're not like the best of the best. They'll say they are. That they have to. They're not the worst of the worst, but they pride themselves on a very minimalistic, interesting design, and they do win on that. Everything they've designed so far, even this block, I don't have it on me, the Watch Pro, which is basically a rectangle, it's just their branding. So,
well, here's the thing, right? So, what phone is a direct competitor to the 2A? Like, who's
the 7A maybe?
The Pixel, possibly?
But the Pixel will blow it away. Maybe not in performance. I'm sure the MediaTek will blow the Tensor 2 away. But the cameras and the processing just aren't going to be there. Unless you like that overlay, which is basically Android with some dot matrix stuff on it.
Yeah.
It's unique, but it's nothing. I don't know. It's nothing.
Nothing.
I don't mean to be rude. I like Nothing. I think they're a good brand. And what's interesting is the guy who runs it used to win OnePlus when they were fan-based lottery system. Listen to their consumers. They're doing the same thing. They're building a small following like Apple has, and look where Apple's at now. Xiaomi used to do this. OnePlus kind of lost their way. I mean, they're building a fan base, it's like the Apple device. Someone out there who's infatuated with nothing is going to buy it no matter what.
Oh, 100%. Like Roddy, who used to be on our podcast here, the Tech Disruptors and Friday Night Fury and all those other ones. And Roddy's a big fan of the Nothing brand. And you know what? More power to him. I appreciate someone that says, you know what, this is a brand that I like.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So I mean, I don't know. I going up against the 7A. The 7A you can pick up for like $399 now. Like, what can the price possibly be that would drive?
The one is $399.
The 7A, the Pixel 7.
Well, it's in here in the US, the Pixel 7A is $375.
Yeah, so I mean, under $400, like it's gonna have to be under $400, or they're not gonna sell any. Like, there's
I agree.
Yeah, like and it's gonna have to, honestly, if it comes in at $299. They might have a hit on their hands. It won't be that
cheap. They're not going to make.
But I don't think it's going to be that cheap.
They're such a small company. They have to make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that $299 is going to cut it. I bet it'll be $399 or higher.
I'll be honest with you. Looking at this picture more and more, I feel like this is the type of phone that if you gave a kid a piece of paper and a pencil and said, "Draw me the perfect smartphone," I feel like this is it. It's not pretty. It's not minimalistic. That's for sure. It looks a lot going on right there.
But is that what they're going for?
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not a high-powered spec beast. It's not a flagship killer. It's not a budget phone because it would need to be cheaper than what.
Well, budget's different now. You know, when OnePlus first started, what, $399 was the flagship killer because the phones were $500, $600. So at the OnePlus 12, it's what, $799, $899? That is a budget.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
And this is $399. It's a budget phone. It'll find its niche, but I don't think it's going to outsell anything that Pixel makes. Maybe some Samsung A0 series or something.
Yeah.
It'd be hard. It's going to be hard to follow that.
I don't know. I mean, again, I've never had a Nothing phone yet. I've had my finger on the buy button.
I've had the 1 and the 2.
Yeah.
And I like them. They're both fantastic. The 1 blew me away. The 2 was better quality, like refined.
Yeah.
Alfie's had better specs, but the 1 had a Snapdragon 600 series.
Yeah.
It acted like it had an 8 series. I mean, it was not what you thought.
Yeah.
It lacked some stuff, which they fixed with like wireless charging and this. But the second one, it kind of just was like,
meh. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good phone. I don't know. I kept it for a little while, and I actually had a second one that I sold to
a lucky listener.
King so
yes, yeah, right.
He bought one off me, and he even said he was so pumped for it, and he's like, yeah. He's on the Pixel bandwagon now.
Well, that's it, right? And nothing wrong with that either. Now,
yes, there is.
Well,
no, I'm just
I guess. So speaking of MWC, so it's not uncommon that we see a lot of phone releases, and there are a couple of companies that we've got to have our eye on, and I just want to quickly talk about Xiaomi because Xiaomi usually shows up at MWC. When I say that, I mean they're coming in hot. Now, and I was their flagship phone, their best of the best, if you will. Their 15 Pro Max version is their Ultra series, and there've been some leaks about the 14 Ultra. Mm-hmm. So this is an article again. This came out today, always on a Thursday. I don't know what it is, slow news day, but have a look at this for a second. So 1-inch camera sensor with 4 different AI imaging models plus 2-way satellite calling and texting is what the proposed specs are.
First thing I want to ask you, go back up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, no, keep going up to the title.
Oh, yep.
4 AI imaging models. Is that just software mumbo jumbo?
I think so. I'm imagining it's the processing, right?
1-inch sensor.
1-inch sensor.
That's been out for years now.
Yep.
And satellite 2-way. Yeah, but that's not going to be in the U.S. I guarantee it. It's going to be, China, Western, or Eastern. It's not going to be over here. We're just not going to get it. Well,
looking at this is from Engadget. There was a few specs that came out, but second generation 1-inch sensor. So it's a brand new, the LYT 900, which is the upgraded version of the one that's on the OnePlus.
The LYT, which one?
The Sony.
Which LYT they have in this one?
The 900.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice. Is it the 900T or just the 900?
LYT 900.
Well, the OnePlus Open
has
had
the
808
regular.
No, yeah, it had a T behind it.
Yeah, sorry.
Then the OnePlus
Open
had,
yes.
And I don't know what they said. It was a difference was probably
The
one
stacking.
Was yeah, the stacking was different. Right.
Yeah.
The Open got the better camera module, I believe. Anyways.
Yeah, which is interesting. I guess for the money, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so fast aperture 1.63 looks good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
120 millimeter periscope zoom.
I'm in the US. We don't do millimeters. We do. We don't do. Yeah.
Centimeters.
Could you please convert that for me, please? Hey,
No.
Bard.
And then the 858 Sony sensor, which is the same one they had in last year's Xiaomi 13 Ultra, which is a very good, very reliable
for
sensor.
The periscope?
For all the other sensors,
okay,
all the other cameras. So basically, but what's interesting here is that we're seeing for the first time Xiaomi using a neural chip. So they're saying that it uses an AI large model computational platform for photography. So using
Doesn't Oppo
Fusion,
do that? Doesn't Vivo do that?
No.
They have I thought the Vivo or the Oppo had the little image processing. Okay.
They do,
yeah,
but they don't have the large model computational platform. So what that means, according to this article, is that basically they're using fusion tone, color, and portrait technology, AI, what do they call it at the top here?
Let me throw this at you. Does that mean when I take a picture with that phone, I will have some interesting looking soldiers from 1943?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you take a photo of yourself, you might get that. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be great.
I mean, the rest of it looks pretty amazing. I mean, it's 5,300 milliamp battery, 90 watt wired fast charging, 80 watt wireless fast charging, which is huge. And they're using quote unquote dragon armor because of the year of the dragon. Which is double the bending resistance due to a special 6M42 aluminum alloy midframe. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
You're going to bend that phone over, aren't you?
I'm going to sit on that fucking thing. I'm going to pull an iPhone 6 Plus fucking moment and bend that thing in half. Yeah, I don't know. They're saying it's stronger than titanium. Than the iPhone 15's titanium frame. That's what they're saying.
That's because the iPhone and the Samsung aren't 100% titanium.
Well, I imagine that too. Yeah. Now using Dragon crystal glass.
What the hell is that? Is that like the?
That's the nearest
Gorilla.
alternative to Gorilla Glass, basically.
Right.
10 times more drop resistance, vegan leather back. Which is kind of interesting. Will it come to the North American market?
No.
I don't know.
No, it'll be global in the European, UK.
Yeah,
you can import it
possibly. Now they
also haven't owned a Xiaomi for a while, and it's not that they don't make great the phone. I think their phones are great. I'm not a big fan of the software.
Yes, no. I've never tried HyperOS though, which is their new one.
Which is right, and that's what I haven't tried. But in the past, was it MIUI or what do they use?
Yeah. Listen, I remember buying a 13 Pro, I think it was last year. I loved the camera, but the software, I could not get past the software.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare to try to configure to get it to feel like a North American phone. Lots of bloatware, lots of like...
Is that the Chinese version that you're talking about?
The Chinese version,
if you can get the imported global version, it's not bad. It's still the software that I can't get over. It's something
and that's
HyperOS might be better because it's across all their devices now, right? Yes. Kind of like what Huawei's doing.
Yeah. But listen, I mean, it comes with an optional photography kit.
Just like last year.
Just like last year. So I don't know. I mean, Xiaomi is there. So they're coming to MWC with a phone, but allegedly they're also bringing another car.
Yeah,
and this would be, I think, the second car that Xiaomi has attempted to drop on the North American market. I forget the name of it, but it has a funky name.
Yeah, I just saw it before we started the show.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm just trying to figure out what it's called, the SU7 EV.
Right, that's what I thought.
I got a little video here for you, actually. Look at this. Okay, here we go. This is the SU7.
Whoa.
Every other car.
Yep.
Oh, I hate that badging already.
Yeah. Hey, the lights work.
Yep.
It's not bad looking. I hate to say it, it looks like every other EV.
Yes.
That's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
It looks droopy.
Well, I'll just drop the volume a bit here, but
It looks kind of droopy, doesn't it?
It's. It reminds me a little bit of not Rivian. What's that other brand? Polestar or whatever.
Yeah, it could be Polestar. Yeah, a little bit.
But anyway, before we get copyrighted, the SU7 by Xiaomi, EV car. Now,
I'll wait for the 8.
Yeah, I know it's not worth it, right? It's probably got Chinese software on the dashboard. I can just imagine.
Probably hack me and I'll get kicked out of the US. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, then what are you going to do? But one of the things I think is a good thing that we're seeing is electronics companies making electric cars, and the reason I say
Sony and Honda's doing it too.
Yeah. So the reason I say that is because they already have a little bit of an upper hand when it comes to like software, battery. They've got the infrastructure, they've got the systems in place. They partner up with a major car manufacturer, and it's just kind of like brains and brawn kind of coming together, right? And I think I like it. I like seeing that kind of stuff. I think that's something that is legitimately interesting.
It's competition too.
It is, yes. And, you don't have to drive a Ford or a Chevy to kind of say, hey, I'm, driving a nice car. And I mean, look at the Ioniq. Like, I know Hyundai, they're a well-known brand around the world, but, the Ioniq is a really good car and not an EV that most people gravitate towards because they think the Tesla is the only one that does it. Right?
Well, Hyundai, if you're listening, send me an Ioniq and I will stream from the cabin.
I'm not even joking. You send out an Ioniq to us and I will drive that around covered in as much Hyundai branding as you possibly want to strap on the outside. I'll become a billboard.
Me too. Yeah, for sure.
Tuna will even get a Hyundai tattoo on his butt. He will just get the logo.
Not on my butt, maybe my forehead.
On your neck. Yeah.
right over my eyebrow, right here.
Maybe a teardrop logo.
Oh, a teardrop Hyundai.
Yeah, that would be impressive. You would not get beaten up in prison at all for that.
The job I'm in now, that may not lend well, but either way.
But still, and I mean, I think it's kind of interesting what Xiaomi's bringing to the equation. Now, the other brand that you and I both are very fond of is Honor. So
Apple,
and Apple, yeah, of course.
Who'd you say?
I said Honor.
Yeah, but if it ain't Apple, it ain't shit.
I know, that's exactly right. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about right now. But their Honor is... So last year, both Jason and I said that the Honor Magic 5 Pro was our phone of the year choice because it was different. Had a great camera, really fun to use, very fast, very fluid, great looking device. The successor to that particular device is the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So I think I got a little bit of a preview.
So I'm kind of upset by this.
Okay.
I'm excited for the graphene batteries, whatever they're going to throw in this damn thing.
Yes.
I don't like the dynamic island.
I don't think it's going to have a dynamic island the way that we think it's going to have a dynamic island. I have a funny feeling it's going to be like an optional thing. Like you could activate it, deactivate it. Right. That's my thoughts. But I mean, what do I know? I mean, look, at the end of the day, for me, like that was the best camera I've ever used on a smartphone last year. The Magic 5 Pro was a great device. Now,
one of my biggest things is it's got to work well. No software is going to be perfect.
No.
But I think the software was good enough. It was not released in North America. So if you had AT&T or Verizon, you were out of luck. But I had T-Mobile, and it did work on T-Mobile somewhat. But my biggest thing is for the cameras, they got obviously output good quality daytime and evening. It's hard to screw up daytime photos, but nighttime photos are a big plus. For me, it's motion.
Yes.
Like being able to capture motion, and what made it amazing is that it could do it very well, but it also had a mode where you just turned it on and it would just capture motion for you. It wasn't perfect, but man, was it awesome when it hit.
Yeah. And look,
so excited for that.
Honor is was an offset brand of Huawei, which they're no longer the case, so they're their own thing now. But they're bringing a few things. Like you've probably heard, well, the tech nerds out there would have heard about their folding device, the V2.
Mm-hmm.
And this is their flagship smartphone for this year. And you know, if you're watching the footage now on screen, it looks like every other smartphone,
Mm-hmm.
but like Jason and I have both said this in the past on this podcast, you won't realize how good the cameras are until you actually try that device. And like I said, that quite literally, and I've been reviewing products now for many, many years. The Magic 5 Pro is the best camera I've ever used on a smartphone.
It's funny because with the 5, I was watching reviews of that Magic capturing, and that's the only reason why I bought that phone was just to capture, like, I know it sounds really vain.
Motion?
Yeah, motion. And I loved it. And I told you how great it was, and you didn't believe me.
Yes, you had to twist my arm, and then I got it, and I was like, okay, he's going to something here. And that became quite literally very fast my favorite.
But what's interesting, that's the only phone we've ever agreed on.
Well, it's, again, we both love, cellular technology. We love mobile phones. We love smartphones. And I think it just depends on like use cases, right? Like for me, right. I really like a good camera. And a camera is a deal breaker for me. I take a lot of photos for everything that I do, for work, of my son, family, all of that. For me, that's capturing memories, right? I don't want a shitty photo. No. And you know what? Here's a phone that can actually capture motion, not like the Samsung S24 Ultra.
Yeah, and the other side is positive about this is the S24 Ultra, while it's not for everybody, is very boxy and big. This phone's more rounded, a little bit smaller, and it fits in the pocket. It's more comfortable to use.
And
my biggest gripe is there's no US release, so we don't get full functionality here, and it pisses me off they won't come over here. I understand why they're not going to win, but their market's probably pretty good where they're at now.
Yes.
I can't imagine I think the investment into the US is just too much. FCC regulations and all that crap. So,
well, I'll be honest with you. I even really liked the quad curve display. I know a lot of people would.
I love curved displays. I've never everyone's like, oh, I get false touches. I've never had that problem.
Never had any issues. So listen, the quad on the Magic 5 Pro, it's curved on all four sides.
Yes.
Yeah. It felt very smooth to navigate around. It was very easy. I never had any issues whatsoever with that phone.
I would say the fastest phone to date right now is the OnePlus 12.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Whatever that Trinity engine is they've got, where they've at the software level, they've met kind of like the iPhone does. If this can outdo it, this will be the 100%. Phone of the year. But I don't know if they can. They have a good track record, but my problem is I get my hopes up, and this is a sequel. Are they going to? I know.
Listen, I would go absolutely. If they fuck this up, I'm going to buy the phone. I'm going to pre-order the phone. I'm going to do it.
And you're buying one. Great, thanks. That's nice. Yeah.
I'm telling you now, I'm going back to the Magic 5 Pro. I'm going back to that phone if they fuck this one up. And I know that phone's a year old, 2 years old. However, it's a year and a half, I think, old. But I would go back to the Magic 5 Pro only because I know how reliable it is. Like some of the best photos I've ever taken on a mobile device came from that phone last year.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
for sure.
And again, it's not going to be for everybody. And there's always going to be people like, oh, I would never buy it if it ain't iPhone, it ain't shit. I get it. But
then you have the people here in the US like, well, I'm not. If I have to import a phone, it's not worth it. I'm going to my carrier and I'm getting a monthly payment kind of thing. And I get that too.
And look, I mean, it's gonna probably clock in around the same price as I imagine. Probably like the Pixel, maybe between the Pixel and the iPhone, maybe like the regular base iPhone, somewhere around there.
It'll be higher. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're somebody that loves a phone that has a great camera, this is the one to get and the one to try at least. Yeah. And if you don't want to buy this one, go buy the Magic 5 Pro. It'll probably be on sale in the next week or so. It'll be cheaper,
I'm going to have to import it.
Yes,
I'm sure there's some pre-order deals already popping up. I just can't do it. I don't live in Europe. I don't live in the UK. I don't live anywhere over there. And Honor, I wish Honor would work with us a little more. Yeah,
100%. Yes, Honor. If you're hearing this, I know you probably will because that's how big we are. Reach out. Yeah, reach out to us.
Send me an Honor hat. I got this Pixel super fan, but I'd be an Honor super fan in a heartpeat.
I want a Pixel super fan. Damn it! I want a bottle. I want a hat. Damn it!
Oh yeah, I do have the bottle.
Yeah, I just saw that in the background. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I mean, I can't.
I didn't. Anyways, I am a Pixel super fan. I'm not Team Pixel, unfortunately. I'm not good enough. But
I actually heard that you have limited edition superfan underwear.
it's boxers, yeah.
It's
Boxer
boxers,
briefs,
yes.
yep.
Yeah.
And socks.
Yes, 100%. Now, last two big things we're expected to see at MWC. So Motorola, rumored Motorola Razr 2024 edition. Now, speaking of the Razr 2024 edition, rewind 2 or 3 episodes of the Tech Disruptors podcast when we exclusively leaked the Razr 2024 right at the end of the broadcast. And I'm telling you right now, if that shit comes out and it looks exactly like we leaked, Motorola we deserve a phone. We deserve.
I mean,
a Razr.
we have so many leaks that Flex Seal's not even working anymore.
Exactly. And you know what? People do not give the Tech Destructors podcast enough credit. This shit's coming live, hot off the press.
It is.
And we will write about the Nothing Phone 2A. I'm pretty confident that we're right about the Razr.
Did you say nothing to like A?
To
like,
like very Canadian there of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I wasn't sure what you meant there.
Yeah, sorry. The Canadian vernacular made its way into the podcast there. It would be interesting to see. But I honestly think the Razr 2024 edition is very close. I wonder if we even have it. I didn't even check if we have any leaked images of it yet.
So that was one of the other leaks. They're also talking about the bracelet phone that they kind of talked about last October, and they might bring it out in person. Motorola and Lenovo are they're the same team, so Lenovo is looking at bringing in some transparent laptops, which I'm not really.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I love the idea of a transparent laptop because it's it's not taking up space. It's immersive, whatever you want to call it. But Lenovo
proof of concept.
Yeah, Lenovo does that a lot, but they very rarely execute on a lot of those.
Well,
designs.
and they had a tablet that they released at NWC years ago. And it took almost a year and a half to come to market, and it really wasn't even that big of a deal. By the time it came out, it was already outdated.
Yeah. And, I mean, look, though I liked last year's Razr. If the cameras were a little better, I would have liked it a little bit more. However, it was fun to use. And I don't know if you know this, but on the Play Store, you can get a Razr emulator that makes it's a launcher that makes your phone resemble a classic Motorola Razr.
Well, the Razr comes with that too.
Yes, and the Razr comes with that too. But if you just wanted to turn your Pixel into a Razr-looking phone, you could do that and maybe save yourself.
Why would you want to do that? You bought a Pixel because you like the Pixel experience. What?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's a very high-quality launcher. So when you put it on a Pixel screen, because the Pixel screen is so good, it looks amazing.
Yeah, but you know what screen's better?
Yes.
The S24 Ultra.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, with its anti-reflective display, also known as dull colors. Sorry, is that too soon?
Wow.
Yeah,
hater.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be nicer.
You cannot beat this orange color. I don't know. I don't care what you say.
Listen, I am very much a very boring smartphone purchaser. I would never buy
orange, blue,
greens, black, purples, fucking red. Actually, no, this is true story. I actually did want a red phone once, and it was the iPhone XR product red edition.
Oh, okay.
First real red iPhone they kind of leaned into. I wanted that phone. I went to the store to even check it out, and then I was like, nope, too red. Would drive me crazy.
My first red phone wasn't. I think it was the LG that curved.
Oh, yes.
And they had a red one, and I had that. That thing overheated like an MF. I think it had the Snapdragon 808 or whatever, 800 series. Man, that thing burned up.
But one of the nicest feeling phones in the hand ever, because it fit into your palm just
I know. LG, what? Rest in peace. That company.
Now, one company that might be resting in peace soon is Samsung. No, just kidding. They're probably going to be around forever.
Sure they are.
But are we going to see the Samsung Ring? Yes or no?
Oh, it'll come out at NWC. It's not going to be available till after April. So I would say April, May, we'll probably see it in consumers' hands. But it might be at MWC because all we saw was that.
Yes.
So MWC, I'm hoping to actually, it's in testing right now, at least what I've read. So I'd hope we'd have some people wearing it. What are you going to do? It's a ring. How advanced can a ring look?
Here is the difference between Apple and Samsung. Apple releases a $3,500 next generation pro level VR headset, and Samsung releases a Ring. there's a big difference there. Now, how much?
$200.
No way. I'm calling $299, $300 for the Ring.
It depends on what they bring to the table. There's been some reports that's going to have some unique measuring metrics.
Yes.
Maybe it will be a little more. I like Samsung Health. They did an update, and I don't know if you know, like for me, it's a big deal because I take medications every day.
Yeah.
Because I'm crazy. No. An iPhone and an Apple Watch would remind you to take your medications. Yeah, you can go to calendar and just put a generic one, but they actually did it in the Health. Samsung Health now does that too. And I just started doing it, and it's actually really nice. You set the time, and it constantly reminds you. My thing about the Ring is it's not out yet.
Exactly.
They're working on an XR device. Is this going to be somehow involved?
No.
You don't think it for like some kind of movement or anything like that?
I think they're completely separate. I don't think Samsung thinks that far ahead, if I'm being honest. I think they're just...
you are a hater.
They're copycats, bro. They're just
Samsung makes some of the best TVs, best washers and dryers.
Oh, no, I'm not disputing their other product
tablets.
line. I think their smartphones are fucking iterative at best.
Well, so is iPhone.
Well, exactly. But if it ain't iPhone, especially in North America,
that's true.
It ain't shit, right? So,
I apologize.
It's true. I mean, the Ring's an interesting idea. I always like the Aura Ring and a couple of other those ones that are in the market. I never owned one for more than like a review period. But I wear the Whoop Band, and that shit is essentially a ring on my wrist. It does nothing. It just tracks my health. So what's the difference, really? I mean, is there a difference? That's the question, right?
Well, you talk about innovation, and you say, like, Apple releases this $3,500 headset, and Samsung releases a Ring. But what about this?
True. Yes.
Apple. Big news, guys. Apple released an app where you can track scores of your favorite sports teams and the betting crap.
Yeah.
Whereas Google's over there developing next level AI that can screw up pictures. I mean, come on.
You know what? Well played. That was good. That was a good volley back there, buddy. That was well done.
You're welcome.
Yes. I mean, a case made for all, right?
Yeah. No one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
Except for tech disruptors. I mean, that's
just us. Yeah. And, to be honest with you, we're the perfect podcast you should subscribe to.
I mean, we are perfect. Everywhere. Wait, what, honey? Oh, I am. I know. Thanks. Yeah. See, you agreed. I had to come to the mic. It was getting a little too close.
It was fine. You couldn't hear my wife. She was talking, but the mic didn't pick it up. If you love what we're doing, Jason and I, we are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all of those great locations where you find your best podcasts. And, listen, we love what we do, and we appreciate all of the support, both live and post-broadcast. So keep it coming. Send us a comment. Say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And, even if it's just, hey, you look kind of weird, or why is Jason's face like that? I
can't fix it. The ugly tree hit me hard falling down,
It's okay. We all have our crosses to bear. But on that note, it's a good little religious reference there.
I got it.
That was good. On that note, that actually brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us a day early this week. We thought we'd just change things up. Keep it fresh.
We'll hopefully be back on track next week.
We should be back next week on track. Yes, that is correct. Jason has some cosmetic surgery happening tomorrow. So, his penis enlargement, all kinds of things.
Well, that's already been done.
Oh, that was done. Right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I thought you were getting it reduced because it was too big.
Well, when you walk, it drags on the ground. It hurts, so I had to get, you get
it. I think you described it like a grandfather clock.
I have no response. Yeah. On that note.
Thank you very much for joining us. My name's Darren. This is
Jason.
And we will catch you on the